Welcome to Speak for Yourself. Marcellus Wiley here, Emmanuel Acho, reaching for something.
I got to get my pen, big dog, so I can start this show.
You're finally going to do your notes? You're supposed to do that for hours.
I can't wait for this one. No, let's get it started. No, before we get started.
Excuse me.
Before we get started.
Oh, thank you.
What did I tell the Giants fans about Joe Judge last year? What did I tell them? Now go ahead and get started.
That turtleneck is about to flex on y'all. Let's get it started in New York. Since my dog wants to get y'all and you Giants fans. Yep, fired Joe Judge Tuesday after 2 seasons with the franchise. Judge finished with a 10-23 record. Yep, and is now the 3rd straight Giants head coach to be fired after 2 seasons or less. Move comes the day after GM Dave Gettleman retired. So, Otto,
let's go.
What's the Giants' biggest issue?
Giants' biggest issue. Giants fans, let me put you on game real quick. Your biggest issue is not that you fire the wrong guy. That's not your issue. Your issue is that you hire the wrong guy.
Oh, God.
After you've hired the person, well, yes, you're making the right decision in firing the person, but Giants fans, your biggest issue is that you're hiring the wrong guy. Pat Shurmur. I could have told y'all he was the wrong guy. I knew Pat Shurmur, though an incredible human being, is not a great coach. I knew this at the age of 21 years of age.
Whoa.
At the age of 21 years old, I knew Pat Shurmur wasn't a good football coach. Why? Because he was my head coach for the Cleveland Browns. Again, Pat Shurmur is a phenomenal man. I love Pat Shurmur as a human being, but Pat Shurmur as a head coach, I just don't think he's a great one. Cleveland. It was training camp before the season had ever started. I've told you this story before.
Let's go.
And we finished training camp practice. This is the moment where you are creating the bond of your team and the leadership as a coach. Pat Shurmur brings us all in. Everybody, bring it in. Bring it in. Bring it in, fellas. Huddle up. We all huddle up, and Pat Shurmur says, gentlemen,
what's up?
That was a phenomenal practice. One of the best practices I've ever seen.
Yeah.
If y'all continue to practice like this, we'll look up at the end of the year.
Yeah.
We'll be 13-3. We'll be 12-4. I started doing the math. So, Coach, if we play and practice as great as we can, we'll look up and be a wild card team. Giants, y'all hired the wrong guy when you hired Pat Shurmur. Joe Judge, y'all hired the wrong guy. And you should have known you hired the wrong guy because you hired a person that was completely unqualified outside of knowing Bill Belichick. Outside of being associated with Bill Belichick, we knew Joe Judge was the wrong guy. The moment he sat in the office of owner John Mara and said, hey, we're going to be incredibly tough, incredibly accountable. I'm going to make them run laps. The moment he brought that up.
What, laps?
Y'all should have said, like, nah, next. Thank you, next. Who else out there?
What high school you going to go coach?
And remember, you and I came on this show, I believe with LeVar Arrington, the day after Joe Judge made his players run laps on August 8th of 2020, and we said, he's not going to make it. I'm telling you right now, Giants fans, when interviewing your next head coach, if he says he will make players run laps, instantly realize that's a strike. He not going to make it. The Giants' biggest issue is not that they fire coaches too soon. It's that they hire coaches too soon.
Oh, really?
And after hiring coaches too soon, you're left with no choice. It's as if that person who's been divorced 3 or 4 times by the age of 40 is like, well, why do I keep getting divorced? No. Divorce isn't your problem. The marriage is your problem. Once you're married to the person, you're actually making the correct decision of divorcing the person. The issue at hand is that you're marrying the wrong person, not you divorcing the wrong person. Divorce is the smartest decision you've made thus far. It's the marriage that's the idiotic decision. Getting married or committing to Joe Judge and the Pat Shurmurs and the McAdoos of the world, that's where the Giants are making their biggest flaws. I'll tell you the second biggest issue right after you speak, big dog.
Right after I speak and right after you take a lap. You need to cool off. Coming here too damn hot.
I was hot on this one, bro.
Because I know why you were hot on this one.
They cussed me out last year.
They cussed you out because you were right, but you needed the receipts to prove you were right. Now, let me show you all the receipts to show you that you're wrong. It's not about Joe Judge, big dog. Come on, man. You know this problem is bigger than Nino Brown. This problem is bigger than Joe Judge. If this problem wasn't bigger than Joe Judge, then this problem wouldn't have an impact on other coaches, good or bad, before Joe Judge. But let's just look at it. And let me just say this simply. The Giants' biggest issue, there are too many to name, but let's start here. They're sorry. You know why you're sorry? Look at your record. 5 consecutive years with 10-plus losses. That's sorry, dog. That is straight sorry. Now, let's talk about why they're sorry. Secondly, they're over the cap. They don't have money. They're walking into the store and know they ain't got a damn dollar to buy anything. That's this year. Thirdly, let's talk about how they've missed in the draft to the tune of why they are sorry. Let's start with Daniel Jones, who I think is a good talent. I actually believe in Daniel Jones somehow, some way. Maybe I got fooled because he knows Peyton Manning and he worked out with Peyton Manning's coach. I don't know. But I see something in him to the tune of he's the only one that won games this year. Everybody else that got in there, Mike Glenn and Jake Fromm, 0 for 4, 0 for 2. At least he won 4 games. I'll give him that. But in his 37 starts, 12 and 25. Oh, Daniel Jones, that ain't good enough. You can't be that guy, Daniel Jones. They went up there and got you high in the draft because they believed in you. You were going to help them turn the corner since their last Super Bowl championship. He hasn't done that. So, Daniel Jones, they missed on you in the draft. Here's the one that's going to really rub you the wrong way. And I ain't just talking about because he got big thighs. I'm talking about Saquon Barkley. Hey, big dog, this was your 4th year in the league now. You only completed a full season once, and that was that rookie year that was special. But since then, Saquon, let's look at you in terms of scrimmage yards. You know he had 2,000 scrimmage yards his rookie year, and since then only 2,300 in 3 combined years. Injury, I know how it goes, man. When you get hurt, you can't go out there and show your full worth. But Saquon, what is going on? You know Saquon Barkley, a running back who played 13 games this year, had 2 touchdowns? Where they do that at? 4 combined touchdowns. Yeah, he caught 2. 4 combined touchdowns. Listen to this. Who you think should have more touchdowns running the football or getting across the end zone? Saquon Barkley or, I don't know, a defender by the name of Darius Slay? He played defense, dog. How you got more touchdowns than you if you're Saquon Barkley? You add all this up. Joe Judge was fine until Joe Judge went out there and started doing some quarterback sneaks, and Joe Judge went out there and started to talk and wax poetic post-game. And all of a sudden they realized, okay, it's bad that we're sorry on the field. But it's worse that people are laughing at us because we're bad and sorry on the field. He lost the PR war, but trust me, like Nino Brown told you, this is bigger than Joe Judge. This is bigger than Nino.
I agree with you on that. It's bigger than Joe Judge. Before Kanye was collabing with Antonio Brown, which we've recently seen, they got a collab coming. They got one coming. Before he was collabing with AB, he was collaborating with my guy, my favorite artist, John Legend.
Your favorite artist is John Legend?
John Legend.
Let's move on.
And before we move on, let's stay here because John Legend, Kanye, they had us trapped. Let's play the blame game. I love you.
I know that. Okay.
Let's play the blame game for sure.
Yeah.
But then they go, let's call out names. I hate you more. Let's call out names for sure. The biggest issue with the Giants, they played a blame game. Remember, it was Ben McAdoo. He was 2-9. It's Eli Manning's fault. Let's play the blame game. Eli to the bench. John Mara. It's Ben McAdoo's fault. Let's play the blame game. At the end of the season, though, John Mara said, you know what? I signed off on Eli Manning, even though I fired Ben McAdoo. I signed off on Eli Manning going to the bench. Okay, let's fast forward. 2020, Joe Judge, Golden Tate. I want more receptions. Let's play the blame game. Go home to the bench. But when Amari Cooper says, I want more receptions, the Dallas Cowboys give him 11 targets that game en route to blowing out Washington football team.
I hear you.
Joe Judge fires after getting into an altercation with his offensive line coach, Mark Colombo. Let's play the blame game. Okay, this season, Joe Judge getting molly-whopped every week, in and out, goes to the post-game presser. Well, I know a lot of guys who still want to be a part of this football team. Let's play the blame game. I hate you.
Note.
So with that being said, Sel, what it is everybody in the Giants organization is pointing fingers. Let's call out names. I hate you more. Everybody pointing out these fingers, playing the blame game.
Yes.
Stop blaming people, Giants, and stand in it. The owners pointing at the coach pointing at the players, the fans pointing at the owner. Somebody got to stand in it and say, you know what? It's on me. I can fix it. The issue with the Giants is what Kanye and John Legend discussed. Let's play the blame.
One more time.
Game. I love you more. Let's play the blame game for sure.
Oh, my God. All right, I know that take going to go somewhere on social. Just make sure to keep me in it because that is a fire take. That's one of your Mount Rushmores. I give you that. One more time. Let me hear it.
Let's play the blame.
Why you hit that note? No more. Kanye, forget AB. This dude got more flavor. Let's get it. All right. You know why they blaming everybody? Let's be real about this. Have you ever broken a bone?
Yeah.
You have, right? Where? Where?
Only thumb.
You broke your thumb?
Yes, sir.
Is that it?
That's it.
You soft. Okay, all right, that's it.
I broke my thumb.
Okay, you broke your thumb. You ever had a compound fracture? Doesn't sound.
No.
You ever had a compound fracture? Talk to your boy. Compound fracture. I mean, we got some issues, plural. That's when you start to sing like you sing. You're playing the game, hey, because you got more than one thing going wrong. Look at the New York football Giants. I wish that they just broke their thumb. I wish that they just missed on the running back or just missed on the quarterback or just missed on the coach. They missed on all of them. Mm-hmm. And why are they missing on them? I hate when people push back and say, oh, well, it has something to do with the systemic issues of the New York football Giants or the institution or the culture. Shut up. It has to do, and it starts with the personnel. It always starts with the horses. If the horses don't run, the jockeys don't ride. Mm-hmm. That's as simple as it goes. Joe Judge, if Daniel Jones had finished what he started, which is you get into a season, you're healthy, you perform the entire year, maybe Joe Judge would be safe. Maybe Joe Judge would have security. But did Daniel Jones ever start and finish an entire season healthy?
No, sir.
Huh? Anybody? Is his career passer rating 84, which we know is substandard right now in today's NFL? Yes, it is. Throws damn near as many interceptions as touchdowns. You look at Daniel Jones, and I see the talent, but I'm going to be real about it. He's 12-25 in his 37 starts. If he were to show them signs of life, that will give signs of life to Joe Judge. We know that Joe Judge is now gone, and in part, it's because of the personnel. Mm-hmm. Saquon Barkley is another player. Started fast, all of a sudden, not the same guy, to the tune of, if you're scouting the Giants now, is he really a threat or is he just a bigger name that you got to respect? I'm looking at this situation in totality. McAdoo, losing record, 1 playoff appearance. Spagnuolo, 1-3 and is an intern. Shermer, as you said, he was a sorry coach. They should have counseled you, but 9-23. Everywhere you look, there's an issue. And then they don't have the proper resources to go out there and replenish because they're over the cap. Joe Judge should not be the fall guy. This reminds me of...
Wait, stop here. You don't think it...
No.
Really?
Let me tell you. This is like saying I'm going to solve the drug problem in our country and then just drive into a neighborhood and getting a local drug dealer. He ain't the one growing the tons of product. He ain't the one crossing the border with it. He ain't the kingpin. He ain't the cartel. But he is going to be a face that you could say and splash across the media. We are trying to solve this issue. If you're trying to fix the New York Giants, get rid of Joe Judge, ain't going to fix it.
But I'll say this, keeping Joe Judge ain't going to help it. So I think we at least agree there? Because if Joe Judge was not solving the problem, if he was not aiding to the problem, he wasn't solving the problem. For example,
let's go.
In your drug dealing analogy, I'm not going to turn a blind eye to a known drug dealer.
You not, but you also going to have to apply resources and greater resources to the greater problem. Why are we going to just go on this coaching carousel? Just like we was on the quarterback carousel. Daniel Jones, Colt McCoy, Mike Glennon, Jake. Like, injuries, whatever it may be, we're looking around, and everywhere we go, there's a problem. Well, maybe the problem is you. I hate blaming owners. I don't like blaming owners in sports. As long as you write a check and stay out the way, you did your job as an owner. Right? That's it. That's all. Write a check, get out the way. If you want a medal, you better be helping, not hurting. Other than that, I'm not blaming ownership. It starts with Gettleman is gone. He retired. You know what that means. He's trying to preserve his resume going forward. But the point is, hire the proper general manager. And no, he doesn't have to be a former Giant. He doesn't have to play back in the 60s. He doesn't have to be a guy associated with the organization. Hire the proper mind that is smart enough to apply these resources properly. If not, you keep missing in the draft. You keep having personnel that doesn't live up to their name. You keep missing with your coaches. You're going to have problems. But to blame him and not look at everything else, to me, is doing yourself a disservice.
I don't necessarily disagree that everything else is wrong.
Okay.
But I do think, Stel, it's almost as though Joe Judge was wrong as well. Right? It's almost like, Big Dog, and I'm trying to think of this analogy.
But Joe Judge had a boss, too. So why are we not blaming the boss? Who drafted DeAndre Baker? Respect. Cornerback.
Would it have been Gettleman or would it have
Reese? But the point is, it wasn't Joe Judge. Like, right? And you could have had A.J. Brown, you could have had DK Metcalf, et cetera. Like, you look at this situation, Saquon Barkley, I would have drafted him.
Of course.
But how is that turning out? Daniel Jones, I don't know if you had to draft him.
So they were in a bind. They're like, Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Facts. The Giants, the year they needed a quarterback, well, only was good one was Kyler Murray in the first round, number 1 overall, because Dwayne Haskins went number 15. Daniel Jones went number 6. Outside of that, Drew Lock went in the second round. Will Grier went in the 3rd round. Jared Stidham went in the 4th round. Gardner Minshew was the 2nd best quarterback in that draft class. He went in the 6th round. Couldn't have predicted that. He went to Washington State, played under Mike Leach, didn't know how he was going to turn out. But with that being said, we know this much. The Giants hold on to players too long. Eli Manning, you and I both know because you played against him. I played against later Eli. You played against early Eli. Giants should have got rid of him sooner than they did.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones. Giants need to get rid of him sooner than they are. But you can't because you drafted him number 6 overall.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at the Giants for realizing, you know what? Joe Judge is problematic as well. If we come on set, Sel, and we know this, we know, hey, if you know we're about to do a show one day,
okay,
and you know you need a haircut, you know you need a new suit, you know you need new kicks.
Sure.
It's like, hey, big dog, but I need a new suit and I need new kicks. So I shouldn't cut my hair. No. Cut your hair, too, because when you get the new suit and the new kicks, you still needed a new cut. The Giants still needed that haircut of getting rid of Joe Judge.
Yes.
Yes, they need a new suit, a new roster. Yeah. Yes, they need new kicks, a new quarterback. But regardless, at the end of the day, they were still going to need a new coach. So it's not as though let me overlook a need for the other needs. We need all of them. I think get rid of the coach and let's try to fix the roster as well.
Here's the problem with that, and I respect what you're saying. When did Joe Judge get there? What year? 2020?
Yeah, 2020, January 8th, 2020.
The New York Football Giants are tied for the worst record in the NFL since 2017. Joe Judge problem? That ain't a Joe Judge problem. He walked into a bad situation. If you needed a haircut, needed a new suit, and needed new kicks, and this show sucked, and this show was doing the worst, and then Acho come in here, you look bad, you do bad, you do well. Doesn't matter. The show still sucks. Guess what they're going to do? Get rid of you, Acho, but guess what they got? A greater problem. The show still sucks. New York Football Giants, y'all keep getting rid of these coaches. Y'all still suck. Coming up, the Browns expect Baker Mayfield to be their quarterback. We'll tell you what they should do about him this offseason. But first, Jerry Jones says this season is championship or bust for his Cowboys. That's right. Tell you if we agree, though. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Man, you hit that note.
Keeping things rolling, the Cowboys host the 49ers Sunday in a wild card matchup, a huge matchup for everybody, Dak Prescott included. Dallas won 12 games this year, but when owner Jerry Jones was asked earlier this week if success in the playoffs was defined by championship or bust, he said, quote, unquestionably, there's no in between. This is my favorite topic because I know you hate this topic. I love this topic. Sel, do you agree with Jerry Jones? Is it championship or bust for the Cowboys?
No, I don't agree with Jerry Jones. You know I don't agree with Jerry Jones. My experience doesn't agree with Jerry Jones. Let's be real, because my experience is my expertise.
Talk about it. Yes, sir.
And I'm going to use greater players than myself. I'm going to use lesser players than myself. I'm going to use myself to tell you that we didn't experience a championship or bust NFL career. Now, it's something to say. It's something to sell. And the greatest attribute Jerry Jones has is his ability to sell. Oh, Jerry Jones, a great owner who I respect fully, has a team, has a franchise that is the most valued franchise in sports. Hasn't won a championship in over a quarter century. Championship or bust? Bust where? It doesn't hurt your bottom line. It doesn't hurt your dollars. It doesn't hurt your pockets. Okay, well, it hurts us in esteem. Really? You're the most popular franchise as well. Where's this bust coming in? See, this is the podium talk that I hate about sports. That's why I can't wait for them to start up the Dat Dude channel, which is just, it's not X-rated, it's not R-rated, it's just raw. It's just like, look, before you leave the locker room to go to the podium, were you smiling after that loss? Because I know when you get to the podium, hey, man, you know what? We're just going to get back to the drawing board. We're going to figure this thing out. And then you walk away and you hit your boy, hey, what y'all doing tonight? What's cracking? What did it do? I want the raw. I want the real. You ain't got to sell me, Jerry Jones, even though I know you sell better than anyone else. It's not championship or bust for these Cowboys. How? Because they have the number one offense? How? Because they have the number one scoring offense? How? Because they have the most takeaways? You ready for this? Yeah. If you look at the number one offense, when the last time they won the Super Bowl? 2009. Wait a minute. Are you serious? Number one scoring offense hasn't won a Super Bowl since 2009 New Orleans Saints. 0-for-11 the last years. Okay. Well, let's talk about total offense. All right, let's go there. Got to go back there. 2009 as well. Only 8 teams out of 55 Super Bowl champions. 8 out of 55. Simple math for you, 14.5%, my brother.
My brother.
Have won the Super Bowl with that. Oh, no. They take the ball away. And you know what? That's the most important stat, turnover. 7 out of 55 have won the Super Bowl, #1 in takeaways. Jerry Jones knows this ain't Super Bowl or bust. He got to sell that. That's who Jerry Jones is. But y'all the fools if y'all buy that.
Then call me a fool, big dog, because I'm buying it. It's absolutely championship or bust for the Cowboys.
All right.
Let's break this down.
Let's go.
Let's start in middle school. If y'all are in middle school and you have a substitute teacher for 3 weeks, y'all know every time in middle school, at some point in time, your teacher has an absence, and you young, so you don't know what they gone for.
3 weeks?
Yeah, you know how it is. You know that one time
it was a minute.
the teacher was absent for about 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay.
And you have a sub.
All right.
What I know is this. When you have a substitute teacher growing up in high school, middle school, etc., you better capitalize on getting good grades until that teacher gets back.
That's facts.
The sub ain't doing no prep. Take this pop quiz. Only question you got to answer is your name on it. Right? When the substitute is there, you better gain an advantage. Okay, let's pivot from there. Let's go somewhere a little more adult. Let's go to the casinos. The house always wins. You always tell me that. Now, we always know the house always wins because the odds are not in your favor to win when at a casino. When you're playing any game, let's call it blackjack, if for some reason you have a good shoe going, that is that one round of blackjack, if you will, you better go as hard as you can because eventually the house will win because the odds are not in your favor. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys have all the odds in their favor when typically in the NFL, they're stacked against you. What do I mean? The NFC, the Green Bay Packers, their all-pro left tackle was hurt all season. Yep. Their Pro Bowl all-pro cornerback was hurt all season. Yep. Number 2, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rob Gronkowski, he was hurt the majority of the season. Future Hall of Famer, more than likely Antonio Brown, he got rid of himself. The number 3 seed, the Dallas Cowboys. Their number 3 receiver got hurt, Michael Gallup. Their number 2 best pass rusher, maybe 3rd best pass rusher, DeMarcus Lawrence, got hurt. But DeMarcus Lawrence's injury actually led to the surgence of Micah Parsons. While DeMarcus Lawrence was hurt, Micah Parsons was averaging 1 sack a game. Since DeMarcus Lawrence has returned, Micah Parsons averaging 0.67 sacks a game. So Micah Parsons' sacks per game have actually gone down by a third because of DeMarcus Lawrence's appearance. So DeMarcus Lawrence's injury actually led to the resurgence of Micah Parsons. Okay, let's go to the 4 seed, the Rams. Cam Akers, starting running back, he got hurt during training camp. No. Their number 2 wide receiver, Van Jefferson, he got hurt during the course of the season, ACL and Achilles, respectively. Let's go to the Arizona Cardinals, the 5 seed. First ballot Hall of Famer, J.J. Watt, he's been hurt. More than likely, first ballot Hall of Famer, DeAndre Hopkins, he's hurt. Let's pivot further. Number 6 seed, the San Francisco 49ers, their quarterback has a broken thumb. Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson, their quarterback is hurt. So when I look at the Dallas Cowboys, it's a 100% injury ratio in the NFL, but somehow, by the grace of God, the injuries that you did obtain were not nearly as detrimental as the injuries to the Packers, their starting cornerback, their starting left tackle, injuries to the Buccaneers, mental injuries in Antonio Brown, just kind of, acting all out, and Rob Gronkowski during the course of this season. The 4 seed, the Rams, starting running back hurt, secondary wide receiver Van Jefferson hurt. The 5th seed, the Cardinals, first ballot Hall of Famer, J.J. Watt, DeAndre Hopkins hurt. If you're the Cowboys, you're looking around like, this is the year. If we can't get it done this year, then when can we get it done? Because, this is the easiest path, the path of least resistance. Yeah. I got a little bit more heat for you second, but you nod your head. I want to see what you got for me.
Oh, what I got for you is a response by the most popular, most valuable franchise is telling me it's championship or bust, and I see no evidence of it. I see no need to say that, unless you're trying to deflect, unless you're trying to distract, unless you're trying to sell me on something. And I'm going to tell you, I know for a fact that it's hard for you to smile at the bottom of the podium. I know for a fact that it's hard for you to sit there with pride when you got 3rd place. I've been there, all the track meets. Let's go, track and field, B block, let's go. I used to win a lot. But I didn't win it all. I didn't win every race. If I did, I would have ran track instead of played football. So obviously I started to lose, right? And when you start to lose or you come up short or you find this other kid out there who was greater than you that day, you got your bronze medal on. I remember sitting there. One time it was in Oregon, Eugene, Oregon, Track City, and I got a bronze on. And this is what's crazy. It wasn't the bronze medal because from afar, bronze and the gold looked the same. So I'm clowning with the homies like, Wally won again? Nah. It was the ribbon. Because when you win, they give you a blue one. When you get second, it's red. And when you third, it's white. And I used to sit there, I'm like, I don't want them to see this white on my neck. Because that means I'm third. And you know what I got into? I got into something of a production. I remember, I'm 12 years old, acting like I'm really in pain, even though, dog, I'm third in the nation. But I got to act it out. Championship or bust. Gold or bust. Stop lying to everybody. I learned this lesson through that experience, and then it all came full circle when I became a parent. Let me tell you why. Because kids cry to see if you're going to respond to them crying, right? Kids will cry. My son, MJ, falls. Boom. If a moment goes by, he ain't really hurt. But if MJ falls, boom, and I'm like, oh, damn, get up there. Bruh fell down. But you know what kids do? They wait for you. And they also respond to your projection. Oh, daddy gonna react to this. You know what NFL players do, sports athletes do all the time? They are getting projections from the crowd. You got third place. You got second place with this talent. I'll tell you, already doing it. With this level of talent, the path of least resistance, you can't be proud just coming up short. And you know why I know this is true? The Phoenix Suns last year came up short in the NBA, right? But nobody said that was a championship or bust season for them. They used that to galvanize themselves and catapult them into a better situation this year. We'll see how it plays out. But there are so many times we watch documentaries, so many times we reflect, and you came up short, and they selling you that, yo, that was a championship bust moment. And then you reflect on it, and you look back and say, dog, it wasn't that bad that you came up just short. Why would it be the worst case scenario if the Dallas Cowboys came up that short?
And here's why. Because I don't think there will ever be an easier path for the Cowboys to the Super Bowl than there is this year. We know how hard it is to get to a Super Bowl. I went to the playoffs once. You went 3 times. We went 0-1. We lost to the Saints. Saints went on to lose to the Seahawks. You went 0-3. It's hard to get to the Super Bowl.
Facts.
But every now and then, a path can be a little bit easier for you. Last year, remember, the Bucs got to face Taylor Heineke instead of Alex Smith. Take that. Every now and then, a path can be a little bit easier for you. Cowboys, you're looking around and you're like, wait a second. The Bucs, they don't have Antonio Brown. Whew. Got away there. They don't have their best receiver, maybe their second best receiver. The Rams this year, they lost their second best receiver. Got away there. Yeah, we lost one, but we lost our third best receiver. Meanwhile, the Packers, they don't even have an all-pro cornerback. We got away there. The Cardinals, they don't have the best receiver, second best receiver in the National Football League. Got away with one. So if the Cowboys ever wanted to get it done, this is just the easiest time to get it done. Same thing, I love your Phoenix Suns take. Man, this year the Warriors are better, and they got Clay.
Yeah.
So, really, if the Suns knew then what they know now, they probably would be saying it's championship or bust. I think Jerry Jones has been around long enough to know, plus there is a little bit of hyperbole. It's Jerry Jones. He's a phenomenal businessman.
Oh, he
has to build the suspense. But Jerry has been around long enough to know, hey, maybe it is championship or bust. Because who knows if we are going to have this talented of a team with this little amount of resistance around us. Because next year, ain't no guarantees that left tackles for Aaron Rodgers will be hurt all season. Ain't no guarantees that all pro cornerbacks are going to be hurt all season. No guarantee that the Bucs number one wide receiver, who was Antonio Brown, is going to all of a sudden, spaz out on the sideline. So that's why I think, Stel, it's almost like, and I'll end it here, is if you're playing a game where the odds are not in your favor, and to win a Super Bowl,
that's
the odds are not in your
That's called life.
If you're playing a game where the odds are not in your favor, which is called life, which is called a goal of winning a Super Bowl, which is called being at the casino, then when you hot, you better strike.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to do right now in my life. Like you said, it's called life.
Yeah.
When you hot, you better strike. Cowboys know when they hot, they better strike. And if you at the casino, when you hot, you better strike.
Yeah.
I do think it's championship, man.
Yeah, you better strike. And more times than not, you're going to strike out.
That's facts.
But guess what? That sets you up for the home runs. It's so crazy, man, this pyramid of success. There's less room at the top, right? And if you talk about the Super Bowl, there's only one team out there. Let's talk about that. Since Jerry Jones has won the Super Bowl, let's go 1996 to present day. 13 different franchises have won one. So a lot of people say, well, damn, that's a grip. That's a lot. 19 have not. More have not than have. Jerry Jones, you already got 3 already up on display, right? Now you look at this franchise and you start to realize what really is at play, what really is at risk. Acho, I love you, man. I know you grew up in the church. You might need to go back a little more because ye of little faith. You try to design it. Well, this is the year you have the most and there's the least to face. You never know how that's going to play the year forward. You never know how that's going to play this year because injuries happen in the wild card rounds and things could change. You talk about last year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, using that as an example. Oh, we get Taylor Heineke over Alex Smith. All right. That cheering stopped really fast because then you had Drew Brees, even though he wasn't Drew Brees, Drew subtle wind. I don't know what he was. Then you had Aaron Rodgers, and then you had Patrick Mahomes. Dog, everywhere you go, there you are. You got to deal with the gauntlet. If you're going to win, if you're going to be at the podium, if you're going to be the gold medalist, if you're going to win a Super Bowl, it's never going to come easy. So if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I'm going to tell and I'm going to sell everybody championship or bust. But the reality is that ain't how it goes, and that ain't how I'm thinking.
Let me ask you one final thought.
Let's go.
Wouldn't you have said for the Lakers, the 2020 bubble year, knowing now what we know now, that it was championship or bust? Because we know Anthony Davis cannot stay healthy for the duration of a season. LeBron James, in his growing age, it behooves him to play lesser games.
Yeah.
If the Lakers did not win that bubble season, the Lakers likely would not have or will not win another title because we know AD just can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
See, if you know that, we know now.
Yeah.
So I think we can speak, that's championship or bust because the Lakers had the path of least resistance. I think the Cowboys have the path of least resistance. That's my thought process.
I get it. Like, in that moment or projecting forward, were the Lakers saying championship or bust? It's interesting. Anthony Davis wasn't healthy that year. It's just he had a 5-month break to get healthy, and that's what helped them go out there and attain it. All I'm saying is, God, when can we merge, like, our projections, our talks, our philosophies with reality and say it like it is? Like, I just don't understand why we live in a world where you can't actually say, look, I'm going to try my best. And whatever happens, happens. Instead of championship or bust. And then you go out there and lose an NFC championship game and you say this season was a success. I don't get it. Make it make sense. Coming up, we'll answer the question the entire dog pound wants to know. Yeah, that's Daz and Corrupt. What should the Browns do about Baker Mayfield this offseason? Oh, that's next on Speak for Yourself.
Seth freaking Rollins is back. What does the return of one of his greatest rivals mean for the Universal Champion? The head of the table, Roman Reigns? Find out on an all-new edition of Friday Night SmackDown. Live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox.
The season is over for Cleveland, but there's still plenty of attention on Baker Mayfield. Browns general manager Andrew Berry said they expect him to be their starting quarterback next season, when he'll be entering the final year of his rookie contract. Baker's scheduled to have surgery on his torn labrum and hopes to be back in time for the OTA. So, Acho, what should the Browns do about Baker this offseason, man?
Man, you got to trade him. And this one hurts, Sal. And I know.
No. Mr. Apology, I know you. You're empathetic. You care about others as much, if not more than yourself. Please apologize to me for all of the counter takes that I had to deal with through this process to finally make you understand. It's time to get rid of it.
I apologize for my blind faith. You know, they say love is, in fact, blind.
So good.
My love for Baker Mayfield blinded me of the truth.
Yes.
The truth at this point is the Browns, you know everything you need to know about Baker Mayfield. You have seen every aspect of who Baker Mayfield is. You have seen him healthy. You have seen him hurt. You've seen him happy. You've seen him upset. You've seen the highs. You've seen the lows. And you know exactly who Baker is. It's time to trade him because you can't do much more with him. We know the ceiling. The ceiling is likely 11 wins, maybe 12 on a phenomenal year where everything goes right. We know the ceiling of Baker Mayfield. But the biggest reason the Browns should trade him is because at $19 million, he would be the most overpaid player in the National Football League based upon the production that he's giving the Cleveland Browns. And I don't like staying in nobody's wallets, but for the sake of my love for Cleveland, I have to. What did Baker Mayfield do this year that Case Keenum couldn't have done? 16 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 60% completion percentage? What did Baker Mayfield do that the likes of Taylor Heineke, who's only making $2 million, couldn't have done? What did he do that the likes of a Tyrod Taylor, who's only making $7-8 million, couldn't have done? Baker Mayfield just didn't do anything this year. Hasn't really done anything over the course of his career that I'm looking and saying somebody else for significantly less can't do. So it's not that the Browns should trade Baker Mayfield because he is bad, but Baker Mayfield just does not command the money that he is commanding. And as a result, I'm like, you might as well trade him because you know what you got. And what does Albert Einstein say about doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result? Insanity.
Insanity.
Kevin Stefanski's not insane.
No.
Jimmy Haslam is not insane. Andrew Berry, the general manager, is not insane. But to bring Baker Mayfield back and expect a different result would be insane.
Man, you late to the party, but boy, you hit the dance floor running. You came in hot, and that's the problem when you get late to parties. You try to get all the party in like 26 minutes. I've been here for 4 hours, big dog. I'm chilling on the wall. Boy, you came in hot. A little too hot for me. You know what I'm going to do if I'm the Cleveland Browns about Baker Mayfield? I'm going to give him clear and undeniable competition that's going to help him out the door. This is a situation that is so complex that I can't usher him out the door without him walking with me. If I force him out the door, oh my God, the Cleveland fan base. What are you doing to Baker? He's the one that took us to the promised land, at least to the playoffs. We haven't been there. He's been the best quarterback of the last 20 you've tracked. You can hear it now because you don't have his succession plan. You don't have the next quarterback there. So what you need is the next quarterback to be next to him to show everyone else this is the next quarterback. Your plan, a little too fast, a little too hot, because all of a sudden he's gone. Trade him for who? What are you going to get, Deshaun Watson? Good luck. Who are you going to go get, Aaron Rodgers? Good luck. If you could do that, yeah, let's just skip this segment and just move on. However, I'm talking in reality. What should you do? Give him clear, undeniable competition, which will start to nudge the fan base. Hey, maybe Baker ain't it. Maybe that 11-win season was an anomaly for real. Because outside of that, 6 wins, 6 wins, 6 wins, Baker Mayfield. You start to show them who Baker Mayfield is instead of telling them who Baker Mayfield is. Now, who is Baker Mayfield? Man, he's a guy that they shouldn't commit to. Let's be real about it. If you take this damn long to commit to a player that's going to take that large of a commitment, $150, $200 million, you don't really want to commit to him. Think about it in the NFL. If you show them that you are valuable, they're still reluctant to give you all that money, but they will because you have earned it. But when you make them go to the midnight hour to even make a decision, have you earned it? Guess what? They're not really believing in you. They're not really committed to you. So they already answered their conversation in terms of we're not going to go long-term commitment with Baker Mayfield. But how do we exit from Baker Mayfield? What is our departure strategy? Because Baker Mayfield, dog, since he's been in the league, no one has thrown more interceptions than Baker Mayfield. Last year, and in his entire career, if you really want to look at it, 22nd or worse passer rating, passing yards per game, completion percentage, passing touchdowns. Number 1 overall pick. Took him to the playoffs once, but 22nd or worse in major statistical categories. For me, the way to play this is simple. You're already on the hook for the 5th-year option. Got to do it. Okay. I'm going to make sure that everyone knows that Baker Mayfield is the reason he's gone more so than the Cleveland Browns organization. Because I don't want a PR issue. I don't even want a revolt. I don't even want our team to continue to go backwards. I want to move forward with a succession plan that is in the huddle while Baker is there.
My problem, though, Sel, with not trading Baker would be making the mistake that we've all made at one point in time in our lives. Mm-hmm. And we've been in a relationship, whether a romantic relationship or a platonic relationship, and the person we're in a relationship with has caused us to lose all of our other friends. Oh. Maybe because we're spending too much time in that relationship. Maybe because they be bad talking all of our other friends. Damn. But for whatever reason, we are in a relationship, and the person who we're in a relationship with causes us to forego all the other people who we have loved and sacrificed for, just for us to look up and realize we don't even love the person who we made the sacrifice for.
Oh, I'm listening.
The Browns are in a relationship with Baker Mayfield. They lost their love with Odell Beckham. They sacrificed Odell Beckham for Baker. The Browns will continue to look up and be like, wait a second, do we really need Jarvis Landry? Wait a second, look up. If they have another bad season next year, maybe Kevin Stefanski is the problem. So the Browns are going to make the mistake, if you don't trade Baker Mayfield, that we've all made at some point in times in our lives. Getting rid of all these other relationships that we probably should have kept for one person, just to realize the one person we made these sacrifices for was never worthy of our sacrifice. And I don't think Baker Mayfield is worthy of the sacrifice that the Browns have made and will have to continue to make.
Love it. I love it. I love it because it is true to who you are. It is true to who I was, and I love it. You're talking about a breakup, and when it comes to a breakup, there's many ways it can go. Like you said, just go in hot. Just get rid of them. Just trade them up. First of all, trade for who and trade for where? Like, no answer to that, right? We ain't got that. We ain't even going to do that. We ain't going to dive down into those details. Let's talk about the fact that a breakup is different than a divorce. And I have a friend who is going through a divorce right now. And I had to watch them do the whole dog and pony song and dance show. Because it was mentally, we're divorced. In our hearts, we're divorced. But logistically, because of the kids, because of our families, and how we're going to let everyone know, let's just say this divorce is TBD. We're going to have to roll this one out in terms of our divorce plans, correct? So the holidays came around. And I'm like, how y'all gonna play this? I know y'all broke up, but how y'all gonna do this? Well, we gonna tell the parents after the holidays. So they go through the holidays and, we're gonna sleep in the same room, but not on the same bed. You gotta lay this one down. You gotta land this plane. That's good. It's Baker Mayfield, because you committed. This ain't no breakup. This ain't no, we together, cool. This is a marriage, #1 overall pick. This is a marriage, 5th-year option. This ain't no just I met you at the club and you were cool. We kicked it for a few weeks and then it's like send a text, man. Go somewhere else. This is real commitment when you talk about Baker Mayfield. I'm just saying if I'm Cleveland, and I can't stand the production of Baker Mayfield. I want to text him. But this is wifey, ex-wifey. We got to land this plane different. That's right. Coming up, Jimmy G or Dak Prescott. Oh, speaking about my heart. Oh, I love both of y'all. We'll tell you which quarterback gives us more confidence in their matchup on Sunday. That's next on Speak for Yourself.
Cowboys host the 49ers in wild card action on Sunday. A lot of eyes going to be on both quarterbacks. Dak Prescott, 1-2 in the playoffs so far. But on the other side, Jimmy G, 2-1, including his well-known Super Bowl appearance. A lot on the line for both of these guys. Your heart is on the line since you love both of these guys.
I'm trying to figure out which chamber is Dak and which one's Jimmy G.
Who you more confident in, big dog? Dak Prescott, Jimmy G.
You really want to just tear my heart apart, huh? I love both of these quarterbacks and their different attributes. But for me, it's Dak Prescott. More faith in Dak Prescott, in part because I have more faith in the Dallas Cowboys than I do the San Francisco 49ers. Make no mistake about it, and I don't think anyone will, but let's just clear the air. Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Jimmy G and had a better year than Jimmy G. More wins this season than Jimmy G. Better completion percentage, more passing touchdowns, fewer interceptions, more passing yards, better passer rating. Oh, you know what? #1 offense, #1 scoring, et cetera, right? And then you start to say, okay, well, let me make an argument for Jimmy G. And you start to look around at the talent around him. And that's not even greater than what the Dallas Cowboys possess. So I look at this as simple as Dak Prescott. My boy Acho says you don't have a signature moment in the playoffs. I think beating Russell Wilson, certainly, if it's not a signature, it's a text. It's something written down that says, hey, this is something special. But maybe he does need that signature moment to live up to the great name of Dak Prescott. Well, let's go get it. Let's start right now against the San Francisco 49ers, because I have faith in Dak Prescott. I believe in Jimmy G, but the problem with Jimmy G and the 49ers this year, it seems like their backs have to get against the wall. They have to face adversity in games. Something got to smack them in the face. We all played with teammates like this. I played with John Henderson, who liked to get slapped in the face, literally slapped in the face and say, okay, it's time to play football. And I didn't like that. I didn't want to go out there and get hit first and then be like, all right, it's time to play. I want to do the hitting. The thing is, the San Francisco 49ers are going to wait for the Dallas Cowboys to hit them, and it may be too late. That offense is too potent to let them strike first.
I agree with you that Dak Prescott is clearly the better quarterback, but I'm more confident in Dak. However, Jimmy G will prevail. I'll put it like this, Sel. Dak is better, but in sports, what we realize is the person that's better is irrelevant. Really, the person who wins is all that matters. Matthew Stafford is better than Eli Manning. You and I played against both of them. I played against both of them. I was in the same division as Eli Manning. But Eli Manning wins or won. And as a result, one is a for sure Hall of Famer, likely first ballot in Eli. And the other, Matthew Stafford, is kind of an enigma as far as his talent level. You will obviously say that Barry Sanders is better than Emmitt Smith. Many would argue Barry Sanders is the greatest running back that's ever played the game.
Facts.
But it would be a futile argument on our behalf because Emmitt Smith won Super Bowls and Emmitt Smith is the rushing leader, past sweetness. Many would argue Aaron Rodgers is greater than Tom Brady. But it's dumb because Tom Brady's a winner. So while we can sit here and have all our arguments about who's better, the only thing we remember is who won. And the San Francisco 49ers and Jimmy Garoppolo will win this game. So it does not matter that I'm more confident in Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott's a better player. Because if Jimmy G will win this game, then all that really matters in life is what happens and what exists in narrative form. Super Bowl 52, I was there, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tom Brady set the NFL record for yards in a Super Bowl. He threw over 500 yards. I believe it was 505. We don't talk about Tom Brady. We talk about Nick Foles. A statue wasn't built of Tom Brady outside of Foxborough for that game. Set a Super Bowl record, y'all. So if a statue should be built, it should be built of the individual who set the highest number in the biggest game in American sports. Okay. That's who should get the statue. Tom Brady didn't get a statue. Nick Foles got a statue because Nick Foles won the game. Did Tom Brady amount for more yards? Yes, absolutely. Did Tom Brady maybe play better? Debatable. But by statistics, he did. But who got the statue? Who do we talk about? We talk about Nick Foles because he won the game. So while I might be more confident in Dak Prescott, and I do think Dak Prescott will have more yardage, I think Dak Prescott statistically might play a better game. We ain't going to be talking about Dak Prescott because narrative will live on greater than reality. And the narrative will be that Jimmy G was better because Jimmy G won the game.
Nuance. You want to go nuance? I shall go nuance with you too. Acho. Okay. I like your argument. Very strong. Okay. So you have more confidence in Dak.
Yes, sir.
So you answered the simple question is Dak Prescott. But it's deeper than that, right? Okay. Let's get deeper than that. You say Dak's going to have more yards. Okay. Dak may have a better game. Will he score more points is the real conversation. Okay. 49ers have failed. You remember those report cards you got in middle school? Failed to score 30 points in 5 of their last 6 games. Who has the most 40-point games this year? The Dallas Cowboys. Who has the number 1 scoring offense this year? The Dallas Cowboys. So Jimmy G, you can have faith in. You can have some level of confidence in. But if he don't put up points, he's going to have to shut up. And that's the problem with Jimmy G down 17 against the Rams prevails. But still, that's not keeping pace with the Dallas Cowboys because it's one thing to come back against the Rams. In your division, familiarity, that adds to your confidence, if not arrogance, to say, hey, we're not out of this. We know those guys. This is the Dallas Cowboys. Who has the best record in the NFC against NFC opponents? The Dallas Cowboys. You're not so familiar with the Dallas Cowboys that you could have that inner confidence that we could just come back on them. And you may be down because this team scores more than any other team out there. So I think this is going to be a greater conversation than just Jimmy G and his capabilities. And let's be real. Jimmy G responds well, and Jimmy G in primetime moment shows up. But it's Jimmy G when it's idle. You know, you ever put the car in neutral, just idle? You go to those car washes that drive through, put your car in neutral and let it just roll. It's Jimmy G in idle, keeping up with Dak Prescott and them when they're hitting the gas. I don't see how that's going to happen. So the true superpowers of Jimmy G won't activate. And if they do, I think in this game it's going to be too late.
Well, here's what I know is Jimmy G's players work harder for him statistically than Dak Prescott's do. And as a result, while Dak plays better, I don't know if it'll translate. So I've been looking at it since 2019. We can look at it since 2020. Heck, you can look at it this year. Yards after catch. Jimmy G in 19, first. Jimmy G in 20, first. Jimmy G in 21, fifth. Dak Prescott somehow, some way, 16th, 16th, 16th. Layman's terms, America, what's this stat mean? How many yards do their receivers get after their receivers catch the ball? AKA, how many yards are their receivers going to help boost their statistics? Jimmy G's throwing a Deebo Samuel. Jimmy G's throwing a George Kittle. So Jimmy G does not have to do as much as Dak Prescott because Jimmy G gets significantly more help than Dak Prescott. So while Dak Prescott has to do more and Dak Prescott will do more, I just don't think it will translate because for Jimmy G, it ain't got to translate. I can throw a 5-yard in route, and Deebo Samuel's going to turn it into a 20-yard gain. I can throw a 5-yard out, and George Kittle's going to turn it into a 20-yard gain. Meanwhile, Dak Prescott better throw that thing 20 yards in the air. He's asked to do a lot. I'm confident in his statistics. I'm not confident in him winning the game.
Interesting. Okay. I'm going to have to do this a little deeper since you want to go nuance. Jimmy G in the playoffs, better record than Dak. 2-1 versus Dak is 1-2. But Jimmy G in the playoffs also has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. Interesting. Dak Prescott has thrown more touchdowns than interceptions, 5-2 versus 2-3. Interesting. Let's dive into this deeper layer. Dak Prescott this year, 38 total touchdowns. Jimmy G only 20. Dak Prescott, 16 giveaways. Jimmy G, 15. Man, it's just about defense wins championships. Nah, just light up the scoreboard. We'll figure it out later. You know what I mean? It's really simple. I think that Dak Prescott is going to light up the scoreboard, or at least he has the potential, the wattage, the voltage to light it up more so than the San Francisco 49ers. This 49ers team is gritty, as you say, the most physical team in football. Okay, I give you all that. But you can't punch what you can't catch, what you can't touch. And I think the talent level, the scoring prowess of the Dallas Cowboys is going to be too much for the 49ers to keep up with, keep pace with. Kind of like me and you, if we ever race. If you ever stop being scared, you'll see what I'm talking about. Coming up, Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields will have new head coaches next season, along with several other teams. Tell you, what's the best job available? That's next on Speak for Yourself. Joe Judge was fired by the Giants Tuesday after 2 seasons in New York. Judge finished with a 10-23 record, but the coaching carousel is spinning in a number of other cities as well. Take a look. In addition to the Giants, the Jaguars, Bears, Broncos, Vikings, and Dolphins all be looking for new head coaches. And our Raiders could be moving on from interim coach Rich Bisaccia, who looks like everyone granddaddy that can fix any car. All right, so Acho, what's the best head coaching job available?
Man, this one's tough. I love this question, though. To me, the Chicago Bears is the best coaching job, and it's very simple as to why. If you want to get to the playoffs, you have to win your division. In 13 months from now, Justin Fields should be looking up as by far and away the best quarterback in that division. Aaron Rodgers, we know he likely will not be in Green Bay for the future, or at least not for the foreseeable future. Kirk Cousins, I do not see the Vikings staying committed to him because they have not gotten what they want, wins and losses, based upon what they're paying him. Jared Goff, he's tied the Lions down based upon what they gave up and based upon the monetary expense. So the Lions are tied to Jared Goff for a while. So you got a young Justin Fields versus Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, and a question mark for the Green Bay Packers. That seems like a very easy road to the playoffs. Easy road to the playoffs means you have an opportunity at a championship. When I look at all the other organizations, there's a lot of turmoil there. But the biggest thing that makes the Bears the best location for a future head coach, they have the most grace and the most leniency, and that's what you need in any relationship. Most organizations would have fired Matt Nagy last year. They just would have been like, you know what, Matt Nagy, we don't like what you're doing. You're going the wrong way. You won 12 wins. 12 wins your first year. Haven't won 12 wins since. Let's get rid of you. But the Bears, president, decision maker, George McCaskey, he's just kind of a kind, patient, give you time to land the plane kind of guy. He didn't fire Ryan Pace in the middle of the season like most would have. He didn't fire Matt Nagy in the middle of the season like most would have. He gave them time. To succeed in the National Football League, more often than not, you'll need some time. Organizations do not offer you time anymore. Brian Flores got fired after having the best record over 2 years that the Miami Dolphins have seen in the last 20 years. So the Bears are a great organization because they're a football city. The Bears have the best coaching vacancy because they have the best young quarterback in that division when we look a year from now. And the Bears are a great location because their ownership and management will give that head coach time and grace to evolve and develop.
After my take, we're going to go back and forth on that Bears conversation. But right now, I would like to offer you the Denver Broncos.
That's good.
Look at that talent. Okay, let's look at the talent, first of all. And a lot of the talent's on the defensive side of the football. We talk about 6 Pro Bowl alternates, which means you're a Pro Bowler now because nobody wants to play in the Pro Bowl anymore. But they've hit in the draft. Patrick Surtain, Javonte Williams, they've hit in the draft. You start to respect them. They have cap space. They have draft picks. Why? Von Miller out, you get all of that draft capital and you get that opportunity to go forward and replenish. $48 million, 7th most cap space in the entire NFL. But what's the most important part? I kind of buried the lead. They got a chance to get Aaron Rodgers. They got a chance to get a quarterback that if you plug and play Aaron Rodgers or any quarterback that's capable onto this team with all of the talent that they have on both sides of the football, now you got something special. Now let's talk about the road to success. AFC West, no punks out there. Like, if you think about it, Obviously, you start with the best team, LA Chargers. Let me stop. Kansas City Chiefs, you got to respect them. Then you talk about the Chargers and the Raiders. So you got 2 playoff teams in front of you. Here's the thing. Now it's time to push back on the Chicago situation. I don't know about Justin Fields just yet, even though I believe in Justin Fields. But I do know, if I look around, that the other teams there, Kirk Cousins, maybe he stays, maybe he goes. But Kirk Cousins voted by Pro Football Focus top 10 quarterback this year. Mm-hmm. You've used some of the big board to use that, hey, Kirk Cousins is playing way better than people give him credit for. You talk about Aaron Rodgers, if he's there or not, who knows how that goes. But the point is, if you look at putting a team together and what's missing from one team, I think only thing missing from the Denver Broncos, quarterback. When you look at the Chicago Bears, I start to say, maybe you need some more weapons as well. So I think that the situation for any coach to plug and play, give me a quarterback. As a coach, I'm going to Denver.
Let's throw up the teams with the vacancies as coaches, because we just wrapping. My issue is this. The Broncos don't have a quarterback, and I don't want to commit to a team that might hopefully get Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, great point.
The Jaguars, not only do they have a suspect quarterback because Trevor Lawrence had an atrocious year, but they just don't even have a good organization.
Atrocious is rough.
Suspect. I said have suspect quarterback. He had an atrocious year.
I like some stuff.
When I look at this list.
Okay, let's go.
The Raiders have a better quarterback than Justin Fields, unequivocally.
Yes.
I can't say anybody else. Beyond the shadow of unequivocally, I can't say anybody. Only other person you might say is Kirk Cousins.
And I wouldn't say that because that ceiling's too low.
That's my problem. So if I'm looking at that list, the only team that, beyond the shadow of a doubt, has a better quarterback than the Chicago Bears is the Las Vegas Raiders. But here was the point. I'm glad we led ourselves here. I don't know if I'd want to coach the Raiders because too many distractions.
Really?
In the city. Somebody told me this, and let me know if you believe in this or not. The best NFL organizations are in the cities with the least to do. Green Bay, Foxborough, New England Patriots. Like, historically speaking, the best organizations, that's why you don't often see the Arizona Cardinals winning a ton. Scottsdale, a different beast.
Okay.
Dallas Cowboys.
Let's go.
Dallas, a different beast. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I want to be the head coach of a team in Las Vegas where every player got some family member coming in town for a bachelor party, a bachelorette party this weekend or the next weekend. Those are the things that coaches don't think about because they just want to sign up for a job.
Hamburger.
But I don't think it's a coincidence that the Raiders went through this year what they went through. I don't believe that to be a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence that you had so many of those off-the-field incidents. I'm not going to blame it on Las Vegas by no means, but I will say Las Vegas probably didn't help.
Okay.
Think about the cities that we can think of that had the off-the-field issues this year. Dallas Cowboys, they had one during their bye week. Raiders, Las Vegas, they had that terrible incident where a life was lost. So when I start to factor in not just what's on the field, but I want to factor in what's off the field as well, I want to factor in ownership. The Bears have the least ownership that is all up in your business. The Bears hire a manager, they hire a coach, and they say, you do you. Raiders, Al Davis, he always doing Mark Davis, he always doing everything. The Dolphins, ownership, too much into everything. Everybody else has ownership. Their hands is too much in the business. Just let me coach.
Okay. You got me here. I don't know if I'm going to rip my jeans because I'm on the fence on this one, but I'm going to go on the other side.
Talk to me.
Because I always thought about it like it doesn't matter the city, and if it does matter the city, I'd rather be in it than away from it because then I'm not always thinking about it. Think about this. All right, number one in Super Bowl wins, New England Patriots, Pittsburgh Steelers. To your point, those cities, that ain't what you say. Ain't that what you doing?
I'm about to go to Pittsburgh.
I'm about to go to Pittsburgh. Southwest don't even go there. All right, here we go. But then 49ers. People go to the Bay.
But the Bay just started popping, not when they were winning chips.
You mean you were just 30 years old?
No, sir.
What you real? Too short?
When did the Bay start popping? The Bay started popping
in the 80s.
Particularly with the
mischief.
With the tech skyrocketing.
Man, will you stop? What lane are you in? Okay, that's where the money
popping.
Dog, I used to go to the Bay before I even went to college. Are you kidding me? You used to go to the lake?
Keep going.
You ain't never heard of the lake?
Number 4.
Bro, where Marshawn Lynch at when I need? Okay,
like
Dallas Cowboys. Yes, it was. Dallas. All right, then we go Green Bay, but then we go New York Giants. New York wasn't popping. I went to college there. So right now we 50-50. And then it's Denver. Now that's a hidden gem, but it's cold. It's hidden. But if you go there, it's some slopes.
So we got Denver, Pittsburgh, New England.
But I just read them in order of Super Bowl championships. Point being, 50-50, basically. Let me tell you why I'd rather be in it than away from it. Because you get desensitized. Look, people come out here all the time and say, Marcellus, have you been to the Hollywood sign to take me there? I'm like, I ain't never. I'm a native. I've never been. I lived in New York 9 years. I never went to the Statue of Liberty. I went to the Empire State Building one time. You know why? Recruiting visit. That was it. When you're in it, then your boy's hitting you, you're like, I think it's just bad examples in terms of what happened with Las Vegas this year. But I think in totality, being in Vegas is going to be a good thing. You're like, I ain't going to Aria again. Maybe I am. I don't know. I don't live there. Coming up, it's Super Bowl or bust for Dallas, according to Jerry Jones. We'll tell you if we agree. That's next on Speak for Yourself. For your Bay Area, it's about the. It's about the.
It was not popping in 1980. Cowboys, Niners, Sunday, wild card matchup. Now Dallas won 12 games this year, but when Jerry Jones was asked earlier this week if success in the playoffs was defined by a championship, he said, unquestionably, there is no in between. It's either championship or bust. So, Sel,
what?
You agree with Jerry Jones, championship or bust?
No, I don't agree with Jerry Jones. And I don't agree with you either. That's two non-party cities going at it. COVID told me that. Look at that. Joe, look at that. All I had to do was wait for reality to prove you wrong. All right. And Jerry out here doing what Jerry does best. Sell it. Sell it. When the last time the Dallas Cowboys won a Super Bowl championship? Over a quarter century ago, correct? Are they still the most valued franchise? Mm-hmm. Oh, when the last time the Dallas Cowboys won a Super Bowl championship? Over a quarter century ago. I'll tell you, it was like 4, like 5. How old were you?
Four, sir.
4?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember when you were 4? Exactly. No, you don't. But not only are they the most valued franchise, most popular franchise. So championship or bust, how's that affected you, Jerry Jones? You can't show me in receipts. Oh, but you can sell me on the hope. This is what he's trying to do to this team. He's trying to activate them. We've been there before. Who hasn't been to the pep rally before and declared that you're going to win state that year? I always tell the story and I love it because I was the captain, MVP. All right, everybody. This year's the year. Yeah. We're going to take it all the way. Let's go Mariners. Oh, walked out of there, man. We were 0-10 that year. We didn't win a damn game. Retroactively, they gave us one game ineligible player. My point is this. You can say what you want, big dog, but what's the reality? Just like you talked about non-party cities and party cities, the reality is different than what you want to project. Jerry Jones is just selling this to have this team activated. He knows in reality it's not championship or bust.
The reality is there will be no year with an easier path for the Cowboys to get to the Super Bowl than this year.
Hear that.
Not in the imminent future. The Eagles are playing a quarterback, Jalen Hurts, who only has 20 starts in his belt. A head coach, Nick Sirianni, who was a first-year head coach. The Giants have a coach, just fired, who clearly is not an NFL caliber head coach. Washington football team had a quarterback who was not supposed to be their starter, making $1.5 million, who was undrafted as it pertains to NFL talent evaluation. The Cowboys were 6-5 outside of their division. They were 6-0 inside of their division. What that means is the Cowboys had a free 6 wins. I say free because of how bad the NFC East is. The NFC East can only get better. I say that because of just how bad the NFC East is. So the Cowboys will have no easier path as it pertains to resistance and not only getting to the playoffs, but thus getting to the Super Bowl than this year, than this moment, than right here, right now. Hurts is only going to get better. The Giants are only going to get a head coach that's somewhat more competent. Washington's only going to get a quarterback that's better, or Taylor Heineke is going to continue to develop. So if you look at it, the Cowboys are a 500 football team outside of the NFC East, and they are an undefeated football team inside the NFC East. So just based upon that knowledge of, dang, the NFC East is going to get better, then Cowboys, y'all better handle business now. The other thing to keep in mind is, once again, injuries, 100% chance it happens in the NFL.
Facts.
Well, the 1 seed Green Bay Packers, they had no left tackle starting this season because David Bakhtiari was hurt. All-pro cornerback, he was hurt. The 2 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this season Rob Gronkowski dealt with a rib injury. A first ballot Hall of Famer, if not for his off-the-field troubles, Antonio Brown. He just ran himself off the team. You don't think he first ballot? You don't think he first ballot? Yes. I'm not voting, though. And I'm not going to the ceremony. Pat, what happened? First ballot. Antonio
You are
Brown.
silly. What?
Not further off the field troubles. First ballot. Fourth seed, again, the Rams. They lost their starting running back. They lost their number 2 wide receiver. Fifth seed, the Cardinals. They lost their first ballot Hall of Famer, J.J. Watt. They lost their Hall of Famer, DeAndre Hopkins. Cowboys, who'd they lose? They lost Michael Gallup. Who'd they lose? They lost their tight end, blocking tight end, Blake Jarwin. Who'd they lose? They lost DeMarcus Lawrence. But in losing DeMarcus Lawrence, Michael Parsons got better. So if you look at it, Cowboys, this is your opportunity. This is your window. It is championship or bust.
Man.
Wait, is Antonio Brown not first ballot to you?
Oh, in Hall of Fame? Yes. But you said I thought you meant first ballot issue. First ballot issue team. And I was like, dawg, that's funny. You need to run with that. Make a first ballot issue team. And T.O. is not on it for all y'all out there who keep talking about T.O. in a bad way. The path doesn't have to be easy if you hard. Let me tell you about, I don't give a damn what's in front of me. I won't take no for an answer in terms of achieving my goals. Now, I'm going to apply it to this right now, but first I'm going to apply it to you. Gosh darn it. Have you been a running lately based on your suits?
Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was last
Yeah, I can tell it's been a minute. You look in great shape, but not running shape. I can tell. Okay. For y'all out there who don't know about running, Google it. I don't know how to tell you. It's hell to pay if you go to running. Okay. Acho, do you walk running or do you run running?
I ran it one time and almost died. I did intervals on running. One of the hardest workout of my adult life.
Okay. Now, I know you're lying to the people out there who are not as athletic as I, but doing an interval means you didn't run it. You ran and then you walked. Lying ass. Okay, here we go. Trying to get that over on me. You want a moderator here or something? You better not be lying to me. Okay. Pavement or dirt? The pavement is the smooth, easy. Yep. The dirt is like, yo, hell to pay. Which one you do? Pavement. Okay, smart. Okay. Acho. I'm the same as you, except I don't do intervals. I walk and I'm on the pavement. I pick the path of least resistance, right? But every time I go, I swear it's like almost every time I go, there was this dude that only wore sunglasses, AirPods, and tights. I don't even think he had on shoes. I mean, he was moving so fast. And he runs the whole thing. You ever see somebody like you struggling with terrain and he like, man, this ain't nothing. Mm-hmm. Point being, if you are hard, it doesn't matter how hard it is. You prepare yourself. The Dallas Cowboys have prepared themselves for all terrain. It just may not work out for them the way that they desire. But don't act like the Dallas Cowboys are not ready for this terrain that they are. They're not you. They're not even me. There's something more than us. We'll see how it plays out. Now, let me bring it all full circle. Dallas Cowboys are the AirPod guys. You know why? Number one offense. Number one scoring offense. Number one in takeaways. And that makes you think, oh, they're going to run up and down, run you. They're going to just do this in the playoffs. Championship or bust. Let me also tell you this. Make them more Acho. Make them more me. Only 10 teams out of 55 have won the Super Bowl with the number one scoring offense. Only 8 teams out of 55 have won the Super Bowl in number one total offense. Only 7 teams out of 55 have won the Super Bowl, number one in takeaways. The point being, dog, they're going to show up and they're going to feel hard as hell. And then, as you know, when we get to Runyon, you say good things, you feel good, and then Runyon responds. And you got to deal with that. I think this year is not championship or bust. You'll look at the Dallas Cowboys, they are fully prepared for this moment, and they still may fail in the same.
I do think that they are fully prepared. I just think a lot of things have to go right for these Dallas Cowboys because a lot of things have to go right for any team for them to win the Super Bowl. Baltimore Ravens needed the lights to go out. The Philadelphia Eagles, in my mind, they needed Nick Foles. I don't think that the Philadelphia Eagles win the Super Bowl with Carson Wentz as much as I love Carson Wentz. Well, teams need things to go right. No defensive back in NFL history has had 2 double-digit interception seasons, let alone back-to-back double-digit interception seasons. Trayvon Diggs is the biggest reason the Cowboys lead the league in takeaways.
Let's go.
The Cowboys leading the league in takeaways is the biggest reason for their record. So assuming Trayvon Diggs just has some sort of decline next season, just because to maintain this sort of statistical excellence is nearly impossible, then the Cowboys' defense will have a decline next season. Assuming Dan Quinn goes on to take one of these vacant head coaching jobs we just recently discussed, then the Cowboys maintaining that defensive excellence is going to be statistically impossible. So many things for the Cowboys have gone right this year. And when all the stars align, when you get that fastball right down the middle, you choked up on the bat, and you know the fastball is coming, you have to hit a homer, especially if the plates are loaded. Because if you do not, you might not get it again. I just think the bases are loaded, The bases are loaded right now for these Cowboys. You got to knock out that grand slam because otherwise you never know what will happen going forward.
Just like you knocked that take out the park right there. Not out of run, you know. You over there. Coming up, Joe Burrow's in the MVP discussion, but is Derek Carr the quarterback we want on Saturday? We're breaking down the quarterbacks we want on Wild Card Weekend. That's next on Speak for Yourself, Big Boy Time. Welcome back to Speak for Yourself, Super Wild Card Weekend. Oh, yeah. And that weekend is right around the corner, and we have plenty of star power under center. Yes, I did. Thank you. So we're going to reveal which quarterbacks we take in each matchup. Acho. Even though the shoes don't match, but he can catch that rock. Let's get it started with who you going with between Derek Carr, Joe Burrow.
Love this segment. Love all the amazing quarterback matchups we have for you all these next 5 minutes here.
Yeah.
Give me Derek Carr.
Derek Carr?
Yeah, I'm going to take Derek Carr. Think about what he's had to overcome this season, Sel. Okay. First-round wide receiver, not only gets kicked off the team, but all the drama there, fatality in a car accident, head coach, misogynistic messages, racist messages, sexist messages, anti-Semitic messages.
And it's his neighbor.
Not anti-Semitic messages. Owner was Jewish. He's smarter than that.
Boy,
you know where the checks was coming from. But Derek Carr's had to traverse all of that this season, goes head-to-head with your boy, Justin Herbert, a must-win game, and he outduels him in totality. For that reason, I think Derek Carr can outduel this beast of a quarterback, Joe Burrow.
Oh, the same Derek Carr that threw a career-high interceptions this year. Nah, I'm going with Joe Burrow. Yeah, I know he's the flavor of the month, but damn it, tastes good to me. Oh, this boy Joe Burrow. He's like in Tom Brady in this respect. Your greatest attribute is between your ears. Somehow his moxie, his confidence is contagious. He makes everyone perform better. I'm looking at Joe Burrow against Derek Carr, who I think is a tremendous quarterback as well. Underrated, doesn't get the full appreciation of what he's done. But let's just talk ball real quick. When people talk about what's happened around the team, distractions, even internally, we know that they've been through it this year. There's another layer to it in terms of what can really affect you, and that's called your opponent. That's called what's happening in this huddle, what's happening on this field of play. I know a lot of things came at the Raiders, but in terms of them overcoming things, that's not going to be the same as going against the Cincinnati Bengals and a quarterback who can keep pace.
Let me give you one Joe Burrow stat. It blew my mind, big dog. Joe Burrow's been in 6 gotta-have-it games. Go back to college, semifinals versus Oklahoma. Then he had the SEC championship game. Then he had the national championship game. Then he had the must-win game versus the Chiefs and the must-win game week 16. It may have been versus the Ravens.
Let's go.
He is 6-0 in those games, 27 touchdowns, no interceptions, 444 passing yards. So Joe Burrow is a beast, hard to pick against. But if he has done what he's done all season, overcoming all those odds, I think he can overcome this one. But I'm with you. I can go either way, big dog.
Yeah, I couldn't. I'm going with Joe Burrow. All right, staying in the AFC, we have rookie Mac Jones taking on Josh Allen, my brother from another in Buffalo, where the temperature is expected to be in the single digits. Who would you want Saturday? Mac Jones, Josh Allen.
This one was going to be complicated because of Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick comes with Mac Jones.
Oh, he in the picture? I don't see it. Oh, is that Bill right there? Over there with Jordan Love family up there?
Because, like you said, it's big face versus big face. Josh Allen.
Come on.
Josh Allen's that much better. He's that much he's significantly more talented. As long as it's not 50-mile-per-hour winds like you and I discussed, Josh Allen's going to be the one handling business.
Yeah, I know for dramatic effect on television, you're supposed to pause this out and lay it down slow. No, hell no, Josh Allen. Even in regression, if you want to call it, 36 passing touchdowns this year. Respect to the rookie Mac Jones, but Mac Jones, 2 games against the Bills this season. Let me read. 45 completion percentage, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and the passer rating up by jersey number in Pop Warner, 35. Come on, big dog. That is not going to get it done against a talented
question for you, Sel. You know Josh Allen spaz is in the playoffs.
What does that mean? Throw the ball like Josh Allen in the playoffs. Backwards. Bad news Bears. Bad news Bills. He going to give you one moment like that. Leave that boy alone.
That's what Josh Allen be doing in the playoffs.
He will spaz. But I just think right now it's too much to ask of the rookie. I know he got Bill Belichick as the homie, as the sidekick, riding shotgun, but come on, rookie, against this Bills team, not going to happen. All right, let's move to the NFC. Who would you take Sunday? Jalen Hurts in his playoff debut or the GOAT, Tom Brady? Man.
Eagles, franchise record rushing yards this year, over whatever the case it was, several thousand rushing yards this year. I'm going to take Tom Brady.
I'm about to say,
Obviously. So let me give y'all something to remember. What? If you only look at passing statistics, it will look like a blowout. Look at what Jalen Hurts does in totality as a rusher and as a passer. Also remember, Jalen Hurts, of all the young quarterbacks, he's ready for a big game. He is. It's not going to be a blowout.
It's time.
It's not going to be ugly. Jalen Hurts is going to be ready, but
if I keep beating you in the race, it's time. He's ready. He's finally going to beat him. No, maybe you're just slower than me. Tom Brady, man, stop. Jalen Hurts, I respect him. He's a great leader. He is the future of that franchise. Here's the problem. You're going against the GOAT. That's already an issue. But two, Jalen Hurts in his last 5 starts, only 3 passing touchdowns. You say, well, don't look at this team just by its rushing attack or just by its passing attack, just how they come together, right? Well, let's talk about this. They're 0-6 versus playoff teams this year. Man, they about to get smoked. They about to get barbecued out there. Tom Brady and the GOAT continue on. Staying in the NFC, the old rivalry is reborn in Dallas with the 49ers coming to town. Who would you rather have, Jimmy G or Dak?
Assuming,
man, look, don't you try to do no drama. You already know.
Jimmy G comes with Kyle Shanahan.
Is he coming? Yeah, he's going to
Give me Jimmy G. Now, who's a better quarterback? Dak Prescott. I get that. Who's going to win the game? Jimmy G. Who going to have more efficiency? Even though I don't love that stat, Jimmy G. So who's going to, when it's all said and done, be victorious? Jimmy G. Dak is a better quarterback. Dak will have more air yards. Dak will likely have more touchdowns. But the game is going to go to the more efficient one of Jimmy G.
Oh, the more efficient one, the same argument you made yesterday about how efficiency is only for losers, but now you're going to make the more efficient argument?
Quiet down.
You know what? That's the problem with working with you every day. I keep receipts. All right, this is Dak Prescott. Let me tell you why. In simple, one, who's the better quarterback of the two? I already heard the answer, but can you say it again clearly?
Dak Prescott.
Okay, who's the better coach of the two, Kyle Shanahan or Mike McCarthy?
Kyle Shanahan.
Who? How many Super Bowl championships? How many Super Bowls has he lost? He's lost more Super Bowls than he's won. Kyle Shanahan is not a better coach than Mike McCarthy. Respect the stripes on Mike McCarthy's sleeve. He is a Super Bowl championship coach. What a better quarterback. With the number 1 offense, with the number 1 scoring offense. God respect, you know this is my guy right here, Jimmy GQ. But this is Dak Prescott in the victory on this one. All right, back to the AFC. Damn, we fifth on. 2 future Hall of Famers facing off as Big Ben takes on Patrick Mahomes and KC. Why you up here? Who you got?
This answer's far too easy. It's far too easy. Clearly it's Patrick Mahomes. But the only thing I have to remind y'all is this.
What?
Go back to 2012. Ray Lewis was clearly past his prime. We all knew Ray Lewis was going to do what? Retire. Ray Lewis announced his retirement to his team. And somehow his Baltimore Ravens team, which was clearly less talented than several teams throughout the course of the playoffs, played for Ray, found a way to get it done. Ray Lewis was not healthy. Ray Lewis, remember, he broke his elbow or tore a ligament in his elbow, had to use the whole deer antler serum in his elbow. It was that year. Somehow, some way, when an OG that's going to the Hall of Fame announced his retirement, the team finds a way to rally. Clearly, Patrick Mahomes is better, but do not be surprised if the Steelers make it close at minimum for a half. When those retirement stories come out, things get funky.
Yeah, they do, because you start to get mental, you start to get emotional, you start getting sentimental. You want to send them off on your shoulders. It's obviously
yes, sir.
Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes. But Big Ben and this team, see, this is their formula for success. They are 4-0 this year when they get 2 sacks and 2 takeaways. That can happen against Patrick Mahomes, who struggled this year giving the ball away. Also, this team is undefeated 8-0 when they win the turnover battle. All they can do is take away possessions from Patrick Mahomes and then hope that Big Ben, like you said, all of this old nostalgia we got to glue on for Big Ben, they can ride off in the sunset like that. Don't predict it, don't expect it, but it could happen. Finally, we have Kyler Murray and Matthew Stafford on Monday night. Right down the street, too. Who are you going with? Murray, Stafford?
I'm going with Stafford. In all honesty, I think Matthew Stafford has been overrated for the course of his long tenure. Kyler Murray, I think, was overrated this season. We were talking about Kyler Murray
before the injury.
We were talking about him as the MVP for 7-8 weeks of ball. But then you turn on the tape and it's like, are you that good? Are the Cardinals that good? Stafford did not come all the way from Detroit to Los Angeles. He didn't partner up with Sean McVay. They didn't go out there and get Odell Beckham. They didn't go out there and get Von Miller. They're not hosting a home playoff game just for them to get knocked out by the Arizona Cardinals. I think Matthew Stafford gets it done.
averages 30 points a game against those Los Angeles Rams. I'm going with you, Kyler Murray, your last 3 starts. You turn it on the TV. You mean the guy, Kyler Murray right here, who has not thrown an interception in his last 3 games and 4 touchdowns? You mean the same Kyler Murray that was in the MVP conversation for real because his team started off 7-0? You got to put some respect on Kyler Murray. Look, they split the season series, and we're going to see how it all plays out. But Kyler Murray, he has that dynamic that you can't prepare for in practice. You remember in practice when coach was like, oh, we got a running quarterback. All right, give me the 5th string wide receiver. And he can't throw, but he can run. And then you Kyler Murray this week. That ain't Kyler Murray. You get out there Sunday and be like, he didn't prepare us for none of this. So I think that Kyler Murray gets the nod. That do it for our Super Wild Card quarterback pick'em. We'll see which quarterbacks will lead their teams to the next round. Yeah, you better spin.
Oh, that died quick.
That thing died quick. Coming up, Antonio Brown. There you go. That's my job. Did Antonio Brown's latest interview help his chances of returning to the NFL? We'll answer that next on She for Yourself. Boy, that first spin.
That first spin died quick. Antonio Brown seemed to have burned bridges criticizing Tom Brady and the Bucs, but he talked to TMZ earlier this week in Los Angeles and appeared to show some regret over his shirtless breakup, admitting with a smile that his antics, quote, probably wasn't necessary or professional, close quote. So, Sel, AB gone through a lot of drama this last week and a half, but did that semi-apology help his chances of returning to the NFL?
Yes, it did, and it shouldn't help his chances, but it will. I'm going to tell you how it goes. We all know actions speak louder than words, but in reality, there is some team right now that is scared to step out, to speak out because of all the scrutiny and backlash right now if you wanted to talk about AB as a player on your team. So some team is sitting there right beneath the surface of the scrutiny saying, boy, I can't wait for that opportune time to go get AB. You hear words like that, all of a sudden that team starts to inch closer to actually speaking out and making that transaction. Here's the problem with it. Because actions speak louder than words, I don't trust you anymore going forward, AB, despite these words of contrition. Do you trust them anymore going forward despite these words? You can't trust them. Let me tell you why. Not only just going forward, but looking backwards. Since he left Pittsburgh, he has played in a possible 16 of 49 possible games. This dude has had legal problems, calling out management, calling out coaching staffs, called out Tom Brady, the GOAT, who I've never heard called out by another player. His teams all made the playoffs this year without him. Steelers, they doing all right without him. Made the playoffs at least. Raiders, Patriots, and now the Buccaneers. So it's like, yo, you're not interrupting anything. We're trying to bring you along and you can help ride with us, but this ship is going to continue to sail. So if I'm looking forward to Antonio Brown and I hear these words of contrition, the problem is, look, man, you keep telling me you're sorry. You keep telling me, okay, I should have done better. Yes, yes, yes. But are you going to be able to be trustworthy when this situation or circumstance presents itself again? For that reason, I say, no, I don't trust him. For that reason, I don't think that it should help him.
I don't even know that it will help AB's chances of getting back. So I think AB in that, like, yeah, I mean, I could have done better. That was like saying my bad instead of I'm sorry. We all been in situations. It's a big difference before. Yeah, my bad. I know it's your bad. You remember on the football field, big dog. Let me take you back for a second.
I know.
Let me take you back for a second.
Oh, man.
Marcellus Wiley is supposed to run a stunt. He's supposed to go inside the offensive tackle. Instead, he forgets to run his stunt. He leaves his defense out to dry. He comes off out to the sideline. I don't think I'm plugged in on. He comes back to the sideline. Hey, Coach, that's on me. My bad. Coach gonna say this. Wiley, I know it was your bad. Get the goddamn foot. Like, my bad is drastically different than I'm sorry.
Hell yeah.
And what AB did right there was essentially say, my bad. If AB were to look at an owner in his eyes, look at a coach, look at a general manager and say, yes, sir, I've definitely changed my ways. I apologize for my actions. That's not the wisest way. And essentially be a person we have not yet seen him to be.
Yeah.
Then I think that would help his chances. But that little my bad
give me.
Nah, that ain't going to get him back.
Man, the only thing worse than that, first of all, you're jogging over. You're like, okay, there's only one way to play it. Let me get in and get out. My bad, right? The only thing I ever heard worse in terms of my bad and a coach's response is when you go there with your teammate and you're like, our bad, our bad. Like, coach will look like, our bad. He took a picture with Kanye. He's with Kanye. The unpredictable twins are sitting there together talking about my bad. I don't trust that. And you know I love both of these individuals, but collectively, I don't trust none of y'all actions going forward. Sure. There's no way if I'm a franchise that I'm bringing AB back because this is like, I love my wife so much, but my wife is the queen of sorry. She's the queen of I'm sorry. And it makes me feel two different ways. One is like, damn, that's an admirable trait. She apologizes for her wrongs. Because me, if I mess up, my bad. I don't say I'm sorry. I can't fight it in me. That's a weak point for me. That's my blind spot. I ain't saying I'm sorry. I'm like, my bad. But she apologized for everything. But then sometimes we get a little contentious, and I'll be like, baby, I would take you just not doing it again versus 1,000 sorries.
Facts.
And I just don't want to hear 1,000 sorries and my bad from AB. Just don't do it.
Yeah. I think here's the biggest problem with AB. The biggest problem AB has going forward is now he has truly shown all of his colors. Attacking coaches, attacking fans, attacking people domestically, verbally within his own family circles. That's one thing. But after you went at Tom Brady, the person who stuck his neck out there for you, you've now shown that you can and will go at anybody without any respect. Sal, let me give you this one. Remember when you was a kid and you went over to your homeboy's house, homegirl's house, and their mom said like, hey, Sarah, come upstairs, or hey, Sarah, not even hey, Sarah, come upstairs. Hey, Sarah, what?
Yeah.
If you heard your friend respond, what?
Yes.
To their mother or dad,
Yes.
they can respond anyway to you. AB, if you can call out and say what you did to Tom Brady, oh, you can say anything about anyone. So just like that individual who, what's their mom and dad, oh, if you don't respect your mom and daddy, you for sure ain't finna respect me. If you don't respect Tom Brady, you don't respect nobody.
So strong. Now,
MJ, wasn't you?
Now I know you better not come over. MJ, come upstairs. Silence. MJ, come upstairs. In a minute. MJ, come upstairs. What? MJ running the house. I hate to say it. Don't come over. You're going to be mad at me. Coming up, Carmelo Anthony comparing his struggling Lakers. I'm spoiling them. I'm sorry. To Tom Brady's first year in Tampa. We'll tell you if he's keeping it 100 or just 99. Next, don't speak for yourself.
Let MJ watch you, big dog.
Dog, he be wrestling me. Be beating. On this show, we only know how to keep it 100, but others, y'all lying. Keep it 99. Each day, we're going to get to the bottom of who's really telling the truth. Case in point. The Lakers are struggling with their team chemistry this season. Carmelo Anthony, he said it's like Tom Brady's first season in Tampa. Take a listen.
Guys trying to figure out how to play with, LeBron and AD, and then now incorporating the Russ, and just everybody just figuring out what their role is. And what made it beautiful for the Bucks was that it was once it came together, and you seen what happened with that.
I'll tell Melo keeping 199.
I don't know what he's keeping it, big dog. He's just trying to figure out where he's keeping it. You can't compare yourself, number one, to a champion, and number two, to a championship team that actually figured it out.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, y'all still trying to figure out whatever y'all have not figured out.
I knew he was lying. He'd keep it at 99 when he started doing this. I hate when I'm talking to somebody and like, can you take this BS? Oh, you don't want that one? Here we go. Carmelo's out there lying. And I hate when people find inspiration in bad things. Like you that person and you gonna go get it. Oh, Walt Disney went bankrupt. You ain't Walt Disney. That's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. Stop playing.